It is the WrestleMania hangover episode of Chair Shot Reality. Well, one of us is hanging over, the other one is fresh as a daisy. Brian Ghoulish, Justin LeBar, Eisenberg not here. I'll let you read into that how you want. Let's talk about WrestleMania 32. First off, let's just get it out of the way and say this. Whatever critique we give about the booking, about the Raw booking, we can't deny 97,000, 101,000, whatever it was, and 17 million plus at the gate. You can't deny that there was a success for WWE. So I'll get that out there before any naysayers who think we're being too hard go, well, hey, it was a successful Mania. On paper, in your wallet, it was. But Brian, let's talk brass tacks, which is what we do here at CSR. Let's get the reality. Let's just basically touch on the two marquee matches. That's what everybody wants to talk about. Let's start with the Hell in a Cell. Shane versus Undertaker. Undertaker wins. But hey, guess what? Shane's in power.
This match followed the theme of WrestleMania 32. 32 long. This match went about 10 minutes longer than it needed to go. I wasn't disappointed with the way the match went down because it was what you were to expect with somebody who hasn't been in a WWE ring for many years. He's not an active competitor and never really was full time. My only problem with this match, we saw the spot from the top of the cage, Justin, but we saw this before. We've seen this. Backlash 2001, he went from the top of the Titantron. We've seen Shane do this spot before, and if that's all this match is going to be remembered for, is that spot and no Vince McMahon. I mean, I'm going to remember Shane's sons coming out with him dancing across the entry more than I am the match itself, because aside from the big spot, which we've seen before, there wasn't much to the match.
Well, look, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we have seen the spot before, but there's not much that's original anymore. And look, these two guys obviously they had the most risk. I mean, that was the most death-defying thing we saw in WrestleMania. Whether you've seen it before, it's still, that's just scary to watch. Those two guys worked very hard. I'm not gonna take, and I was entertained. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be there and not be entertained. But you're right, the match was too long. Think about this: Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker in far less time than it took Undertaker to put away Shane McMahon.
In his own
atmosphere. I don't care how, yeah, and right, in his own match. I don't care how many videos we see a ripped and cut 46-year-old Shane McMahon do in the ring, in the gym, like he's Rocky Balboa. I don't care. His offense is insanity. I don't want to see him reversing Hell's Gate. Again, so there were things like that, and then obviously the big spot we're talking about, that should be the end of the match. Now, I know that 97,000 people aren't harping on match psychology like I am. They're just trying to enjoy it. And again, I was entertained. But if we want to break this down and think logically, Shane McMahon jumps off a cell. That should be it. There should not be any more, come on, Taker. There should not be any more. That should be it. So, that said, so Taker wins. And then we get to Raw. And Shane McMahon is given power. Now, I'm happy to see Shane. I really am happy to see Shane. And it's nice to think that we're going to have, you know, some freshness in the authority angle. The fact that Stephanie Triple H seems to be gone for a little bit and Shane's running things. But what a proof! That's all the proof we need that this was truly the panic button of we're not going to have John Cena to fight The Undertaker. We need the biggest return possible. Here's Shane, bells and whistles, control, legacy, blah 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 blah. And at the end of the day, none of it mattered. Match is null and void.
But on top of that, aside from Apollo Crews and Cass and Endzone, what really did we get? We got a fatal four-way to decide who's going to face Roman Reigns. Was AJ Styles that ended up winning. But what did Shane really do on Raw to bring excitement? Again, that's the thing. It was in the script. It wasn't Shane's fault, but this wasn't one of your classic post-Mania Raws.
We'll get to Raw later this weekend, but the grand scheme of Raw, my problem was I think they could have attributed more things to Shane. You know, a few times they said, you know, per Shane McMahon, you know, they tried to link him to a few things to make it seem like, you know, there's a changing of the guard. Hopefully they're better prepared for that. I guess he's still in control Monday. That's the other thing. Vince didn't say you're in charge just for tonight. Vince didn't say you're in charge just until the next pay-per-view. I think his exact words, correct me if I'm wrong, I think his exact words were, well, hell, we'll try it for a bit. And he stormed off. So, like, what does that mean?
But at the end of the day, with this whole thing with Shane McMahon, is he here for the duration? Because if he is, they do need a solid direction. You can't just have this like float out there. We know we weren't going to see Triple H and Stephanie for obvious reasons. Write them off TV for a while with the loss to Roman Reigns. But again, what is Shane ultimate? What's this ultimate plan for Shane if Shane is in control?
As before we move on to the other marquee match, I want to make sure I don't forget the thank yous. Thank you to Sherlock's Pub, who fantastic treatment. Sherlock's Pub was our place where we filmed some chair shot last week. It was also where we did our CSR pre-Mania party, our biggest attendance ever. Thank you very much. Thank you to Matt Hardy, who was there. Thank you to Blake Mitchellmore, one of our CSR bloggers. He was our contact in Dallas. It really helped put some stuff together. And, of course, thank you to everybody who came out. It really was a success, Brian. We were sad we did not have you there for the shenanigans, and shenanigans is the accurate and a PG word for it all. Let's move on to the other marquee match, Triple H Roman Reigns for the world title. Now, this match goes on last. I think these two, again, they worked their butts off. They tried to tell a good story, knowing what they're going to contend with the crowd. But I'll be honest, and I went back to watch it on the WWE Network to try to appreciate it just some more. I was just so burnt out. 7.5. You all know how much I love Lana. I wouldn't even watch Lana for 7.5 hours.
And think about this.
That's too long.
You were there with 97,000 people, and you were having an atmosphere like that. Imagine myself and other people who are sitting on their couch at home watching, and you're watching, and you're watching, and you're looking at your watch saying, are they going to cut the Battle Royal? What are they doing for the main event? Oh, and The Rock's still supposed to come out. So when we did get the Triple H Roman Reigns, the match, it was just flat. We didn't have a classic Triple H entrance. Stephanie had an incredible promo, and then he just treks down to the ring. No mask, no nothing. Just Triple H coming down to the ring, which was a little unexpected on my part. And then the match itself, it really didn't live up. There were other, Triple H has had great matches at WrestleMania. This was not one of them.
So Roman Reigns gets the victory, and then we go to the next night on Raw. And I will say this, obviously, the reaction that Roman Reigns got on Raw, no surprise. WWE knew that this was going to happen. But I think, actually, that was about as good as it could be handled. I think the quote really summed it up. I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy. I hate the term tweener. I won't use it. I prefer to just say middle of the road. A tweener sounds like something exotic I don't want to be a part of. Roman Reigns, middle of the road right now, that's fine with me. Don't be cowardly and rip down the fans, because you still do have some fan support, but at the same time, don't pander to them. Don't grovel to them. Don't try to suck up with any ridiculous cliches. Just no nonsense attitude. And it was smart for them, actually, I think, to have AJ Styles as the number one contender, to have a babyface as a number one contender, because if you try to put Roman Reigns up against a guy who truly is a heel right now, you're going to be wasting that heel. But to that point, you're going to waste that heel. Chris Jericho could do everything he could possibly think of, and that crowd, that portion of the crowd is still going to boo.
Everyone's going to boo Roman Reigns. And at the end, listen, at the end of the day, you say he has attitude.
Feel bad for him.
He's very soft-spoken. When he talks on the mic, he just kind of attempts to be tough and attempts to be a smart-ass, but he's not. If he's going to be, he needs to come out like his cousin did and insult the fans and insult everyone. Don't just have him be your tweener, little this way, little that way, bad guy that the fans aren't going to like. Embrace it. Go with it. Run with it. I'm not your choice. I'm not their choice. I'm the guy. If you're the guy, put your swag on and be the damn guy.
Be the guy. Share Shot Reality here on WrestleZone.com. You can also subscribe to the YouTube page, youtube.com/CSR Wrestling. We got more to talk about. Don't go anywhere.